Alex, I'm no longer afraid to say
What the hell was that?
that the official 9/11 story
It's not like a plane crash.
is an absolute fairy tale, a complete work of fiction. Let's just talk about this for 1 second, Alex, and this has really bothered me from day one. How is it that two completely random events result in an identical occurrence? I ask you again, Alex, how is it that two completely random events result in an identical occurrence?
The majority of family members don't believe it. 60% of the commissioners don't believe the story that they received.
We're told that it's offensive to the families to question all of this.
My son was murdered.
We know for a fact that this is not the case. We know that they've been calling for a new investigation.
And I haven't gotten the answers that I want.
They've been looking beyond what they've been force-fed and told was the correct way to behave about their murdered family members.
Remember this, your government funded and trained Al-Qaeda.
I personally cannot stand idly by any longer and pretend like a new investigation is just going to fall out of the heavens right into our Congress. We have to take action. We have to stand as one. We must insist that our new president deliver on his promises. And that's why, Alex, that's why I've gone right to the top with this. That's why I'm asking the president to read my letter, to answer my questions in person, and to call for a real and open investigation, finally.
Number one, why has the United States Department of Justice not charged Osama bin Laden for 9/11? Now, when the FBI was pressed as to why, their response was, we don't have enough evidence. Amazingly, all the charges, the Embassy of 98 and all this other stuff is all listed. But ironically, nothing on 9/11. Nothing.
I have information about things that our government has lied to our people.
Sibel Edmonds, FBI translator.
To say that, all right, since the fall of the Soviet Union, we ceased all our intimate relationship with bin Laden and Taliban. Those things can be proven as lies. With those groups, we had operations in Central Asia, and that relationship, using them as we did during the Afghan and Soviet conflict, we used them all the way until September 11th.
Building 7, free-fall collapse.
The Red Cross rep was like, he goes over and he says, well, you got to stay behind this line because they're thinking about bringing the building down.
You hear that?
Keep your eye on that building, it'll be coming down.
The building is about to blow up. Move it back.
At the last few seconds, he took his hand off, and you heard 3, 2, 1, and he was just saying, just run for your life, just run for your life. And then it was like another 2, 3 seconds, you heard explosions. Like, boom!
Hi, my name is Barry Jennings. I was asked to go and man the Office of Emergency Management at the World Trade Center 7. When we reached the 6th floor, the landing that we were standing on gave way. There was an explosion and the landing gave way.
We have the evidence of the 10 key features of controlled demolition. In the case of Building 7, it collapses straight down into its own footprint at free fall speed in the first 100 feet. It's documented by FEMA, the melting of steel.
Molten steel running down the channel rail.
Well, it has in it the chemical evidence of a special incendiary, which is thermite, a high-tech incendiary used to cut through steel like a hot knife through butter.
We can't help but feel a little freaked out by this.
Yeah, you're getting it.
Now, more on the latest building collapse in New York. We'll probably find out more now about that from our correspondent, Jane Stanley.
They get on the news and say Building 7 has collapsed into its own footprint symmetrically, and right out the window is Building 7.
Passeport magique.
Passport of one of the hijackers on Flight 11 was allegedly found in the rubble.
De poussière partout dans toute la ville. Et là, Il y a un gars il se promène comme ça, tout d'un coup il fait oh oh, you know, qu'est-ce que c'est que ça?
Goes through the fireball, through the side of the plane, and comes down to the ground unscathed.
Il ressort, tu vas pas croire, il ressort un passeport du pirate de l'air, d'un des pirates de l'air.
The E-4Bs over New York and Washington, otherwise known as the Doomsday Planes.
One of the eeriest moments amid the carnage of 9/11, a mysterious plane was seen flying right over the president's residence.
It appeared overhead just before 10 a.m., a four-engine jet banking slowly in the nation's most off-limits airspace.
Well, look at the E-4Bs over New York and D.C. as the attacks happen, and then after they happen, when all air traffic is shut down with the command pod on top and the American flag on back. Those are the Doomsday Planes.
They insisted on meeting together behind closed doors and not under oath.
President, why are you and the Vice President insisting on appearing together before the 9/11 Commission?
Because the 9/11 Commission wants to ask us questions. That's why we're meeting, and I look forward to meeting with them and answering their questions.
President and Vice President of the United States, don't you think they should be able to stand up and speak their own words?
They should go under oath.
They should be, yeah, in public.
What topic did the commissioners want to spend most of the time on?
It's probably best that I not go into the details.
We have questions, Mr. President. Lots of questions. A lot of them are detailed in my letter. But trust me, there are hundreds more questions. You, sir, have the power as well as the responsibility to initiate a truly independent congressional investigation into the events of 9/11 as well as its aftermath. We want our country back, Mr. President. People of the United States and the world demand the truth, sir.
This is his chance to do the right thing, and for much too long now, our government has been on the wrong side of history. We have to stop accepting the fact that's just what they do. They just lie to us. No. Come on, the time is now. Demand the truth. This message will not be silenced anymore by the media-fueled mantras insisting how they feel and deciding for them for 8 long years what can be thought, what can be said, what can be asked.
No more secrecy. That's a commitment I make to you as president.